Let's talk to former DG, Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Dr. Muda Yusuf, who is joining me to give more insight. Thank you so much for joining us on TVC News this time. Well, I'm not sure how Nigerians are exactly, commemorating today Nigeria at 62. But first, let me get your opinion, what you think about Nigeria at 62. How much have we fared economically?
Well, thank you very much. Well, we have not fared very well, but we have a few success stories. For instance, let me start by saying that for 23 years, we have not had a single military coup in Nigeria. I think that is something that we have to appreciate. Our democracy, of course, we have challenges, but it's maturing. It's much more stable than what we have in many parts of Africa. Only yesterday, I was hearing about military coup in Burkina Faso. We had coups in Niger, in Mali, Guinea, and the rest of them. So, but in terms of the stability of the democracy, not having a single major significant disruption for 23 years, I think is something that we should appreciate. Then, of course, we have some sectors that have undergone significant transformation. The telecom sector, the ICT, the entertainment industry, the financial services sector, aviation sector, quite a number of sectors where we compare where we were at independence to what we have now. I mean, it's a significant improvement. Even broadcasting. I mean, for many years, we had only one national TV. Today, we have so many TV stations owned by the private sector, print media, radio stations. These are footprints that are good in terms of private sector involvement in the management of the economy and the delivery of services. But however, we still have a whole lot of issues which is impeding the growth of the economy, which is impeding the welfare of the people. Right now, we are contending with very serious macroeconomic challenges around our foreign exchange issues, the exchange rate depreciation, the volatility in the foreign exchange market. We have serious fiscal policy issues, especially around fiscal operations. I mean, the level of deficits in financing of government has been increasing. The level of debt and debt service has also been increasing. Currently, our debt burden is about 42.8 trillion naira. And if you add some other components of sovereign debt, like the ways and means and all of that, you'll be talking about well over 60 trillion naira in terms of debt. Of course, that is a major concern, and that is also reflecting in the debt service. Debt service to revenue ratio is climbing to as high as 80%. That is of concern, and of course, we also have issues around our structural environment, productivity in the real sector, productivity in agriculture, productivity in agriculture, and even some elements of the service sector. Basically because of the very tough operating environment, issues of power, issues of roads, and other infrastructure that are impeding productivity in the economy and the welfare of the people.
Yeah,
in terms of Human Development Index, Nigeria is ranking 32 in Africa. That is not good news at all.
Dr. Yusuf, let's take it from the issue of the people, because at the end of the day, having government in power is to ensure that the people are, they enjoy the dividends of democracy, which we are actually, which we enjoy in Nigeria to a very large extent. So India actually, it has retaken the first position as the poverty capital of the world. But Nigeria is still battling worst insurgency due to the activities of banditry, kidnapping, insurgency, etc. So without dealing decisively with some of these attendant issues, how do you think Nigeria can bounce back economically? What do you think can be done in terms of economic achievement?
What needs to be done is to create the environment for more investment, particularly private sector investment. Because in many of the countries that we admire today, the leading economies of the world, it is the private sector that is driving their wealth creation, their job creation, employment, creativity, innovation. Most of these things are driven by the private sector. So it is important that we grow investment and we create the environment first from the point of view of the macroeconomic environment, what you call macroeconomic stability in terms of inflation rate, in terms of the stability of the foreign exchange, stability of the regulatory environment, the institutions of government, the state of credit and all of that. All those things are very critical macroeconomic fundamentals that we need to put in place so that the private sector can grow and contribute a lot more. And of course, we talk about the issue of insecurity. What can anybody do if the environment is not secure? So the government needs to deal with the issues of insecurity. That is very basic. Without insecurity, nothing else can happen. Then, of course, we need to address structural issues. I talked about productivity in the economy. Productivity is extremely weak because of the structural challenges. Structural challenges in the area of infrastructure, in the area of roads, the railway system, the connectivity within the economy, the state of our ports, the problems with the bureaucracy, and all of that. Then, of course, the regulatory environment also has to be supportive of investment. Many investors complain a lot about the way the regulatory institutions relate with them. We need to have a more investment-friendly regulatory environment.
All right, in that regard.
So from the institutional point of view, the macroeconomic point of view, structural point of view, there's a whole lot that we can do to create the environment for wealth creation and growth of investment.
Right. So, but is it soothing for you that the fiscal and monetary authorities responded with over 9.3 trillion naira intervention stimulus package?
The stimulus package, is it by the CBN you are talking about?
Right. Yeah, the monetary authorities, absolutely.
Yes. I mean, that is a commendable thing. But you see, intervention fund or monetary injection is not enough. It has to be complemented by the totality of the investment environment. Don't talk about insecurity. The intervention fund cannot solve the problem of insecurity. We have the instability in the foreign exchange market. Intervention fund cannot deal with that. You have regulatory issues in the economy. Intervention funds cannot deal with that. We have structural issues of the energy, cost of diesel, and all of these things, high inflation. These are very significant things that are impacting on the investment environment. The intervention fund is good, but even some people have the intervention fund now, the environment is not allowing them to make use of the fund. Some of their businesses have gone under. So it has to be a holistic approach. The monetary side is okay. The foreign exchange policy has to be right. The fiscal policy has to be right. The tariff policy, trade policy, the institutions, regulatory environment, everything needs to work in tandem to ensure that we bring the economy back on track. So it's not just about monetary. Monetary is good, but a whole lot of other things need to happen, to make this economy move forward.
Absolutely. Just like you said, a whole lot of things have to be put into consideration to ensure that the Nigerian nation becomes a viral nation and stand very tall among its committee of nations. CEO Center for the Promotion of Private Enterprise and also former Director General of the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Dr. Muda Yusuf. Thank you so much for your insight. Thank you.